So we don't need our gems for now. I'll right click and select all. Sorry, not select all, that's selected all layers. I'll right click and select objects and press delete. Same with our cutters, although I could select our parent cutter and type cell children to select them and press delete. I also don't need this ring anymore. Delete, it is saved. And I will come down to our right view and I'm going to explode this. At the moment we've got one closed curve. If I explode this, type explode, that's going to explode that into all of these individual curves because I don't want any of those curves there. Press delete. I will select all of those and join those together. And incidentally, we're done with our solid tools, so I will exit that. So now we've got an open curve. Another way of exploding something is this little explosion button here. And you can see up the top there, we've exploded a curve into 3 segments. But I don't want that, I'll Control Z. So we've got these 3 curves as one section. I'm going to do an arc on the outside. So come across here and choose this second one. Here, and I don't have any way, no guide to snap to, so I'm just going to eyeball it and make it about there. I will draw a line across here, and I've eyeballed that pretty good, but pretty good isn't good enough. I do want that to snap just down fractionally to that line there. I'll delete that. Select all of those and trim these 2 sides and press enter. And I want to join all of those up. So the command here is join, and you can see that we've got a closed curve. I'll zoom out a little bit, and if I select that, then have a look in our box edit panel. It's always good to refer back to this so we can see what sizes we're working with. 3.15 wide, 1.95 deep. Okay, perfect. Now I want to make a duplicate of this, and it's going to be at the top here. Let's mirror this profile to the top. I'm going to drag to select it, type mirror, and the start of our mirror plane is going to be our world origin or 0. And if I hold that and I can shift click to hold down shift to constrain that to a 90-degree angle, either left or right, and just click to finish that action, that tool. And now I've got a duplicate of our profile at the top here. I think I'll now edit this profile to make it a little bit more interesting or unique. And I'll start by exploding it by hitting this button here. We'll delete that top section there, but I will come and grab our line, single line, and hit both sides. And from this center point here, I'm going to drag that out 3.15 millimeters, which is the width of our ring, divided by 2 because we're coming out from the center. Hold down shift and click. From here, I can move that up 1.95 millimeters, and that is the depth of our ring. So this is going to be a little bit of a guide, and we'll use this to make sure that we've got a consistent depth with our objects. So I might want to make a little sort of decorative outside pattern for this one. So I will come and hit circle, and I'm going to select 2 point. Click there and just drag down, hold shift until I'm happy with the size of that circle. And then I want another little circle coming from here and coming around and sort of popping in there. So circle, we'll go for 2 point again, and I'll select the top of that and just drag that out, maybe somewhere like that. If that's a little bit too high, I can certainly drag that down a little bit, and I am happy with that. So I will mirror that across. We can come down to our transform flyout, hit our Christmas tree, and it's going to be anywhere from this center, so I can snap to a center here and mirror that across there. I'll delete that guide rail and I'll select everything there, I think. Zoom in a little bit and we will trim off some of these excess bits. Trim, 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 trim. Oops, we've gone a little bit too far. We've trimmed off something we shouldn't have. Don't panic. There is an undo button up here. So just hit undo and that's just going to take us one step back. We're still within the trim function, so we can just press enter and we'll be happy. Now join those all back up together. Join. And now we've got this sort of three-railed profile that we can use. So if I double click right, we've got our three-rail profile at the top. We can do a sweep one rail command, which was sweep one, enter. Select our cross section, which is that one, and press enter again, enter again, enter again. And now if I double click and maximize that, we've got a nice sort of decorative wedding band there. So if I click on that to select it and type emap, then again we've got that nice sort of almost rendered view where we can see how that's looking. And I'll exit that now. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do in this chapter is I'm going to create a blended profile. So we've got this triple railed profile at the top and then a D shape at the bottom. So I will delete that ring and run our sweep command again. Sweep one, and I'll select the top and the bottom and press enter. Now this is where these control points or seam points are important. We want them to align at the same point, and in this case they are correctly aligned and the direction is pointing the same way. But if you find that they're doing this sort of thing, then you're going to have a weird result when you initiate that sweep. So you can just come and click on one of these points, and in this case we want to align it here. Now this arrow is pointing away from the inside of the ring, whereas our bottom arrow here is pointing toward the center of the ring. So if we come and bring our cursor close to that arrow, you can see we're getting a second arrow pop out in the other direction. And once we see that arrow popped, we can just click and that's flipped the direction. I'll press enter and we're going to have these options again. Now at the moment you can see we've got a half ring, but what we want is a full ring or a closed sweep. So I'll just click that button and that's closed or made a complete sweep. Press OK. And now you can see that we've got our triple profile blending into a single D-shaped profile. I'll select that and type emap for our environment map, and you can see that a little bit better there and how that's blending into our D-shaped profile at the back. So that's one way that we can sort of mix up the profiles as we go along to create more interesting shapes for our designs. So that's it for this chapter, where I've taken you through creating some solid objects and wedding bands. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next chapter.